My name is Alex Bloat.
I'm Connor Bass.
I'm Cooper Sims.
And I'm Bert Griffin, and today we'll be discussing the legal drinking age in America and whether or not it should be lowered. Lately, controversy over the MLDA, or minimum legal drinking age, has been increasing. This is partly due to such a large number of people who have drank illegally while still underage.
Alcohol poses numerous dangers, especially to teens, such as drinking and driving and alcohol poisoning.
Although there are benefits to other options, such as having an MLDA of 18 years or none at all, keeping it where it currently stands is the best solution. Doing so doesn't present teenagers with the potential for danger and won't alter our economy.
In 1920, Prohibition, which is the banning of alcohol, was initiated by the government. In 1933, Prohibition came to an end. In 1984, the government raised the minimum legal drinking age to 21 and has stayed at 21 since.
And then most recently, alcohol has become a popular topic because there are many ways to handle the MLDA, and some feel that the United States is not handling this issue appropriately after looking at some of Europe's alcohol drinking laws.
Of all drunk driving deaths, 1/3 of them occur to people between the ages of 16 and 20. There are 10.8 million underage drinkers in the United States, and for every 6 teenagers, one of them binge drinks. And the definition of binge drinking is the consumption of an excessive amount of alcohol in a short period of time.
As stated by Johns Hopkins Study of Public Health, the brain isn't fully developed until the mid-20s. By consuming alcohol during this time, the frontal lobe, which controls movement and behavior, can be permanently damaged.
Drinking leads to unsafe behavior such as unprotected sex, drunk driving, and more, which could be potentially fatal. Teenagers who first drink at the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to develop alcohol dependence in their future years opposed to people who drink at the age of 21 or older. Early drinking also has a connection to personality characteristics that include tendencies of acting impulsively and searching for new stimulations, which could have the potential to lead to stronger addictions.
As you can see in the picture on the left, the brain on the left has far more activity than the one on the right. Although the 15-year-old who was a heavy drinker was sober during this test, alcohol had damaged his brain to the point where memory loss is clearly visible.
Alcohol, gasoline, and cigarettes. These are all staple goods, and that's because no matter what, people will still purchase these goods because both alcohol and cigarettes are highly addictive, and in today's world, gasoline is an absolute necessity. For this reason, these are the 3 highest tax items in America today. Along with that, these taxes could still be brought up higher without damaging sales, which could help the American economy. If the MLDA was to be lowered, then there would be a larger consumer market, which could positively stimulate the economy.
However, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the excessive use of alcohol is a continuing drain on our economy, costing the United States $249 billion in 2010 due to losses in workplace productivity.
As you can see from these graphs, alcohol actually costs the United States economy hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And if the MLDA is reduced, we can only expect more of an output of the taxpayers' money. Excessive alcohol consumption is responsible for 88,000 deaths annually, and many are young adults. Dr. Robert Brewer, the head of the CDC's alcohol prevention, says, and I quote, "The increase in the cost of excessive drinking from 2006 to 2010 is concerning. Effective prevention strategies can reduce excessive drinking and related costs in states and communities, but they are underused," end quote.
Some say we should follow Europe in their lower drinking age of 18 years old. But their kids are raised drinking alcohol, and it is a completely different culture. When looked at closely, European youths have higher rates of intoxication. Therefore, lowering the minimum legal drinking age would increase the rates of intoxication in youth and teens across America. This graph shows the percent of each age group that has alcohol dependence and or practice alcohol abuse. The highest range at 13% is the underage drinking age of 18 to 20.
Who is to say that if the MLDA was to be lowered, that then the highest alcohol dependence range would be in the younger classes of Americans, which could drastically hurt America's children.
Transportation. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that over 500 lives are saved annually since raising the minimum legal drinking age to 21 in 1984. But still, the U.S. has more alcohol-related vehicle deaths than most other countries.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, every day 28 people in the U.S. die in motor vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol-impaired driver.
America should take initiative for the safety of its citizens and especially the minors. Improving technologies such as more advanced identification services could improve alcohol-related injury and death rates among teens.
Perhaps the most important way to prevent illegal underage drinking is to reduce the availability of alcohol to minors. This responsibility falls mainly on the parents and guardians to protect their children and hold them accountable. Universities also are at fault and need to prevent unsafe alcohol practices. In the past, colleges have turned a blind eye to partying and underage drinking, but this college atmosphere excuse needs to stop if any progress is expected to be made.
Thank you. I just have a couple of questions for you. Cooper, describe how the content of the team presentation was changed as a result of group discussion.
Well, towards the beginning of ours, we had more of a medical standpoint because of Alex's and Connor's findings, but after a while, we started to shift it towards Berg's, where he was finding points towards from the other sides. So it kind of shifted our learning towards both perspectives.
Thank you. Burke, how did the group decide to include Alex's perspective or lens or conclusions into the overall presentation?
Alex had the health lens, which for our presentation and conclusion was probably the most important because he brought up many dangers of alcohol, and when it comes to fatalities and losing lives, that really can't compete with the economy, and he really brought up what was important with the issue.
Thank you. Connor, in the future, what change would you make to your group norms, and how would you expect that to improve the team presentation?
To our group norms, I would change rates of productivity in our regular meetings, such as instead of needing to have like 5 meetings a week that are all an hour long due to lack of productivity, we could cut that rate down to say, a couple of days with higher productivity to improve efficiency within our group.
Thank you. And last, Alex, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem your group identified?
I would say Berg's because of economic and because money and my lens, which was health, money and health have a kind of contradict each other, to where health is a greater standpoint opposed to the money. So health is more important than money. So.
Thank you.